Cole about this, and it was funny. So I saw it on Twitter. It was just a post from some random person, and it was like a month ago Cole Bishop decided to wake up and become an All-Pro. It was funny just because, obviously these last couple of games there's been a lot of good things. What clicked?
I think I talked about it before. At some point for players, whoever it may be, I'll use Jordan Poyer because he's in that locker room, and I was with him when he was a backup special teams player, and you never know. You kind of know what's inside of a person, right? What's here and what's here to go with their talent. And at some point the way they work, obviously the talent they have, the intelligence they have, all those type of things. It was going to click, and I think I talked about once you become in control of the down in and down out, you're able to play a little faster, a little freer, and just you're able to play football. I think that's just what you're seeing with Cole. It's just, quote Micah Hyde again, confidence, I think he said, is a dangerous drug, and he's confident right now. He's playing fast, he's playing physical, and he's making plays in critical moments of the game.
It's a homecoming weekend for Terrel Bernard. How have you seen him grow over his time here?
Yeah, I think, his rookie year, I think he'd tell you he hated me when I was the linebackers coach. But you put him through the fire, you put him through the anxiety, you make things a little chaotic for him because at some point it'll slow down. And I think this year's been a little different in the fact that he's faced some injuries in the past, but he's been a little banged up and he's tried to find his rhythm, and I think he did a good job getting in more rhythm last game. You just look to keep growing, and it's been fun to watch him grow.
For you guys, and you're not sure if Davis Mills is going to play or C.J. Stroud, what's the challenge of preparing for two quarterbacks?
Yeah, it's obviously a challenge. They're both good quarterbacks. We'll do our due diligence on both of them and just be ready to go for whatever happens.
Go ahead.
Sometimes we not harp a little bit too much, but the splash plays are the things that everybody notices and that people are talking about. And Max has had a couple of them.
Yep.
I asked Sean something similar a little bit ago, but what have you seen, in this first month of sample size from Max?
Yeah, I think, a little bit of same thing with Cole. Like, you get that first interception. It's a big deal, but, I think the positive is when plays are coming his way, for the most part, he's making them. I mean, that's what you look for. Look for guys that when the opportunities arise, you can make plays. And secondly, I think, what we're still looking for is more consistency in his game, right? And that'll come, as you talked about Cole, getting a little more consistency out of Cole. So those are the two things. Plays are coming his way, he's making them, but we still need to see more consistency.
What are the challenges on the defensive line right now with guys playing kind of out of position based off who's available, who's not, and just, whether it's younger guys, Daquan Jones,
Right.
Mixing in those reps?
Right. Well, I'll say this: the NFL ain't slowing down for us, so we got to do what we got to do. And the guys are doing a nice job adjusting. There's a lot of different combinations of things that, we're going to put together, and we're going to continue to put together. It's important we try to find as much continuity as we possibly can in what we're asking them to do.
Dion was drafted, Brandon was talking about ramping him up, the questions about the back injury, all those kinds of things, and now you fast forward and now what a big part of that unit he's been. Can you kind of put into words what he's meant to that group and kind of like a stabilizing force about the injuries?
Yeah. The thing, and I keep saying it about Dion, is Dion wants to do everything the right way. Like, in his mind, he doesn't want to let anything slip. We need to continue to see some growth in certain things, and he knows what they are. But I think the biggest thing is he's earned the respect of his elders, right, in that room. And that's a hard thing to do, especially as a rookie. But he's done it the right way. He's kept his mouth shut. He's, listened. He's worked hard at practice, and hopefully we continue to see him grow and reap the fruits of his labor.
There's 3 plays in every game when you go back and watch it where he's right at the quarterback.
Yep.
Is that one of those things where finishing is something that you try to harp on a little bit?
Yeah, I think, we always talk about don't chase plays, right? So it's 2 ways. It's yes, finish, and going into detail with him on how he can finish and those type of things. But secondly, I think that we talk about is you don't chase plays. You put yourself in position to make plays, and when the ball shows up, you take advantage of it. And if he continues to put himself in position, those plays will come, and he'll kind of get in that rhythm. And looking forward to seeing him continue to put himself in those positions and hopefully put the quarterback on the ground.
I want to go back to TV for a second, actually. Was there a time when you knew he could be a captain here? I know he was a captain in college, so he's got it on his resume. But at the professional level, when did you start to see this guy can be a leader on this team?
Well, I'll go back to his rookie. I can't even remember what his rookie year was, 2022. I'll go back to his rookie year. I believe we were in OTAs or training camp. Jordan Phillips was here, and Jordan Phillips turned around, and he didn't use these words. He used more explicit words, but he said, "I mess with that guy," And he was a rookie, really didn't know each other, this, that, or the other. But when you have a veteran like Jordan, who's brutally honest at times, it's I kind of took note of that in my head, and I was like, okay, maybe we got something here. But no, I mean, I think that was one moment, and then probably into that first year he started, you could just kind of see, he had taken control and, had the ability to take on that type of leadership role.
First half to the second half, the run defense did a better job in the second half. What was working in the third and fourth quarter?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the Atlanta game. Did we tweak a thing here or there? Yeah, but what we have got to do is we have got to do our jobs at a high level. We have got to take what we're doing in practice. We've got to take it to the game. We've got to keep the simple things simple, like reading my keys, tackling, which tackling is not simple, but fundamentally it's a simple fundamental of the game of football. And, talk about gap integrity and block destruction and all those type of things. We have got to become more consistent there. We've got to put our foot down and say enough's enough, quite honestly. And that's what we've got to do collectively as a unit. There's not one person that's going to stop the run game. It's got to be 11 players.
How much of that is a mentality thing?
A lot of it's a mentality. A lot of it's a mentality to the point where you get pissed off to where you're like, you're not going to run the ball on us. And that's the mindset we've got to have.
Cosmic Clean Sweep. Just what does ovarian cancer awareness mean to you?
Yeah, so last couple years, I don't know, last 5-6 years, I've done just ovarian cancer awareness. My mother-in-law, Jackie Johnson, she passed away, I believe, in 2018 from ovarian cancer. She battled it for a long time. And, just to bring awareness to the people it affects, it certainly affected our family. It's something that is harsh. And she battled it for 10 or 12 years and certainly showed how tough she was. And, maybe that little piece right there gives someone a little bit of hope, that maybe has ovarian cancer. So that's her story. Just want to bring awareness. Good.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks, Bobby.